This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com. Let's jump right into the Clash of the Castle results. CM Punk cost Drew McIntyre winning the Damian Priest WWE World title. Why they call it a world title, I don't know. So the title did not change hands. To no one's surprise, Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles for the second time in a row. And by the way, I noticed Clash in the Castle is not trending anywhere. There I have seen like trends of CM Punk and stuff, but like I'm not seeing anything trending about the pay-per-view. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire defeated Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark, who I've interviewed, and Bianca Blair, and Jade Cargill. So I guess it was a three-way. So there's new women's tag teams champions, Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, which there you go. Sami Zayn defeated Chad Gable, who's re-signed. Honestly, both of those wrestlers are very boring to me, I have to say. Bailey defeated Piper Niven to nobody's surprise. That's about it. Not much to these pay-per-views. Better than the 5 hour and 40 minute um, ones that we're seeing from AEW, but they're keeping these short and sweet. There was some stuff from the press conference. Apparently, CM Punk said he was cleared for ref duty and might be cleared to wrestle by SmackDown on Friday. Not that he will wrestle, but he might get cleared on Monday. Basically, he's seeing his doctor in Chicago on Monday. Apparently, and this again, he's saying that the backstage climate has totally changed from when he was there before. I will say one big difference on why he could say the backstage climate has changed. He now has his own bus. He's a big star. There's bigger separations now between stars and regular talent. He doesn't have to deal with the politics anymore. His position is solidified. Is WWE's backstage a lot better than AEW's craziness from what I hear? Probably yes. But like as a as a guy who's at the very top of the pecking order, you don't really have to deal with the backstage environment as much as when you're changing in a locker room with 30 other guys and having to fight for positions at the top. CM Punk has now solidified himself at the top. Although, as I said, I don't doubt that it might be less of a Shark Tank than before, but it's still very political. It's extremely political. As expected, Jordan Grace wrestled somebody from NXT last night on the TNA pay-per-view. And another sign that WWE is either bought or is buying TNA is they let Jordan Grace beat the NXT person. Which, why would you do that? Why would you allow it? Makes your product look weak unless you actually own both products. The person she beat was named Tatum Paxley, who is not exactly a household name. The Rock is already talking about having the biggest WrestleMania match in history at next year's WrestleMania. The good thing about that, he's already building to next year's WrestleMania. The bad thing about that, we know Cody Rhodes is going to keep the title till next year's WrestleMania. But they don't care. NXT's number was very weak this week, considering they had Jordan Grace from TNA and Cody Rhodes on the show. It was lower than AEW Dynamite's, not by much. NXT did a 0.22, Dynamite did a 0.23. But according to Dave Meltzer, the WWE office was certainly expecting NXT to beat Dynamite with with Cody Rhodes, and it's not because Dynamite did a great rating. 0.23 is far from the 0.64 whatever Dynamite did when it debuted. It was around 0.64. but they expected with Cody Rhodes and like the TNA person jumping over that it would get a better rating than Dynamite. Uh, One thing, there were a couple notes from sorry. Oh yeah, I listened to the Wrestling Observer Radio today. There was a couple notes I was going to mention from Dave Meltzer. He mentioned about The Rock promoting WrestleMania that people have already figured out Cody Rhodes is not going to lose for a year, and his title defenses seem unimportant. He also brought up something that I agree with. There's way too many ladder matches these days. They're overdone. They are way overdone. We see them in AEW all the time. They're not special anymore, and they're not. You don't even see one-on-one ladder matches hardly ever. Now it's like friggin' multiple team ladder matches, and it's too much. And one thing I do like about CM Punk. Someone asked CM Punk if he was going to do a Hell in a Cell or ladder match against Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk said you can keep that in your fantasy wrestling dreams or something along those lines. He's obviously not. He's already injury prone, so he's not going to put his body at risk in a dangerous match like that. And I agree with him that he shouldn't. As far as what Dave Meltzer had to say about Conor McGregor dropping out of UFC 303, where there was an over $20 million gate, the people that bought their tickets on the secondary market are likely not going to be able to get refunds. The people that got their tickets on the regular market, yes. However, a lot of people probably have already bought airfares and stuff and are stuck with that. There hasn't really been anything revealed about what the injury might have been. He hasn't fought in 3 years, and he's only won one fight in 7 years. So, I mean, UFC is extremely, they do well for live gates. They only have like as far as household names. Honestly, I'll say Conor McGregor and John Jones. I read a lot of names here and there, but those are the only two UFC fighters I'm really familiar with. They don't have a lot of household names, but people go to see UFC just because the brand is over. For instance, Louisville last week, just a regular UFC fight night, had over 19,000 fans, more than double what SmackDown had the previous night. So people like to watch fights, obviously, and UFC is the brand, and it's been promoted into the mega brand because obviously PFL doesn't draw that much. Bellator is almost non-existent. The return of the Blood Hunter to Great North Wrestling. Yes, I went on a pretty good bike ride today. Training for that, which is coming up June the 29th in Napanee, Ontario. 2 weeks from tonight. I will be back in the ring. And then the one I'm really looking for. Oh, by the way, Mario Mancini I was supposed to do an interview tonight with Mario Mancini and Paul Roma. It's being delayed until next Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, because Mario Mancini is sick. How that's going to affect him training for his retirement match in Napanee has yet to be seen. And then I can't wait for this one, teaming with the Warlord, managed by Katie Lee Burchill. August 31st in Petawawa, Ontario, and 95% positive I will be filming the wrestling scene for my Blood Hunter movie that was put on hold for a few years. We already filmed a little bit for it, but I am determined to finish it this year. Nothing will stop me from finishing it this year because it's something I already invested over $10,000 into, and it pisses me off that I had outside factors that didn't let me do it. By the way, last night I did a great interview with Tank Abbott, over 2 hours long, and Tank Abbott is coming back on Tuesday night. with another UFC legend, the guy that famously took the elbows from Gary Goodridge at the UFC in Puerto Rico, Paul Herrera, or Herrera, um, who hasn't really done many interviews, and him and Tank are both going to be on at 10 p.m. this coming Tuesday night. Wish everybody a great night. And for those that watch Classes in the Castle, hope you enjoyed it. I don't think they sold out. If they're calling it a sellout, it either had a very strong walk-up or, as they often do, they just say it's sold out and block off extra seats come showtime. But as of yesterday, it was not sold out. And the SmackDown there yesterday did not sell out either, but it did look like a hot crowd from the clips that I saw. Please give this video a thumbs up.